series with Aage. So let's bring him on. This guy needs no introductions. We've been working together for years now, and just a wonderful, wonderful guy, great teacher, and always has something intelligent to say. So welcome, Aage. I appreciate you, my brother, for all that you do and your wisdom, your knowledge, and you share it so freely and so openly, and you really are in service to the whole. So thank you. I appreciate you, my man, and I'll give you the stage, and in about 30 minutes I'll jump in and hit you with some Q&A from our audience. And guys, as usual, give me your questions in cap locks, please, so that they stand out, and I'll hit Aage up with that. So Aage, it's all yours, my man.
Okay, well, thank you for having me here. This is going to be so much fun. Yeah, and I love questions because once in a while they stump me, and that's when I learn because I can't handle it. I got to go out and find the answer. So that's when I learn. Anyway, that's what that story is. Well, this is Earth Day, right? So we really should talk about Earth. That Earth is a lot more than dirt. It is a lot more to it. And what is Earth anyway? Hmm. We think we know? Yeah, we kind of do actually. But was it here before we came? Or is it like quantum mechanics is telling us that we live in a mind created universe and we involve the mind? Our mind with the universal mind together is what's creating everything around us. That could kind of indicate that some of it may not have been here before we came. If that's the case, we have a lot more control than we are told or led to believe. In a mind created universe, our mind is involved in the whole creation. So, whatever we allow to dwell in our mind the most is actually what we're going to have in our life. Think about that guy that the only thing he thinks about is what he's involved with, like crime and drugs and robbery and stuff like that. Do you think he's going to have really good things happening in his life? Maybe if he wins the lottery, he'll have 3 weeks until he spends it all, but not that much. The one that engages in higher conscious thinking and think about good things, create good things, have good friends, and visualize good things in his future, that person is going to have a lot better life than the one that doesn't. So, if we think about Earth, then, what is Earth? We are finding out that it is actually, and there's some quantum mechanics equations that actually kind of proves this because they talk and now that Earth is alive. It has consciousness and it is self-aware. That kind of tells me that it's not very happy right now. And it is up to us to change things. We know where a lot of the problems are, we know a whole bunch of them, but we don't really know the bigger ones that is yet to come, like the fake alien invasion and the shutdown of the electric grid and all that, those things, which they have planned for us. People are discovering this, but what are they doing about it? Next to nothing. So tonight, let's spend a little time or more time on the solutions. We know the problems. let's spend a little time on the solutions. Plastics, that's one of the problems. Hemp can replace just about 90% of everything that the plastics are doing. So we should really concentrate a little more about that, learn about it, and talk about it. Get involved in visualizing our own existence with hemp in it. Same thing with oil. Electric cars, as of the present state of technology, is not the solution. It destroys. It takes more energy out of the earth to create the batteries than they can save by not using oil. So there is other technologies. There is free energies, a whole host of machines that is over unity that could be used, but there's too much money in oil, so it doesn't happen yet. That's our job now. Start thinking about that, learning about it, and talking about it. Like the guy in 1978 that created an automobile that ran on water. He ran from coast to coast on, I think he used something like 8 gallons of water. Maybe a little more. I forget what it was. We can start building our mind with those concepts in it. And then we have plutonium. That's a problem or a challenge. Whether if you absolutely had to have nuclear energy, then use thorium. Thorium is clean, there's no radioactive radiation, and it's not dangerous to people. Think about this for a moment. We have something like 12, 14 nuclear power plants in California alone. If they had one severe tsunami out there, every one of them would disintegrate. And you have another Chernobyl for each one of them. That would make California unlivable, and a big part of the rest of the country unlivable for 30-some 3,600, 3,800 years. Only a raving idiot would put something like this together. But it was done for profits again. There's so much money in nuclear. And they didn't want to use thorium because they cannot create explosions out of it. And they wanted to use nuclear energy for bombs and rockets and war. So there again, let's change our thinking. Research thorium. Know about it. Start thinking about having it in your existence as an alternative energy. So why don't we already have these things? We know they exist, but why don't we have it? It's because we have not gotten on the soapbox and talked to our neighborhood about it, talked to our community, our state, the world about it. We need to change our thinking by putting solutions in it instead of dwelling on the problems. Because whatever you keep in your mind the most, that's what you're going to have more of. So if we have a mind-created universe here, which the equations on the blackboard show that we do, and is proven by repeatable scientific experiments, it's up to us to change things, because we have a lot more control than we think we do. And people out there say, oh gosh, that's a big job. What can I do? I'm only one person. Let me give you an example of one person or a group of people can do. Nori Love and I have created a mastermind where we do some incredible things. We create out of seemingly nothing sometimes. Let me give you an example. A few months back, there were all kinds of forest fires in Northern California. There was a lady that called me and she said, I'm going to have to move into town because the fires are getting closer and I'm afraid my house is going to burn. What do you, is there anything we can do with the mastermind? And I said, well, let's try it. So the next day on Sunday, we got together. Forest fires were raging and we got together. We visualized her. We wrapped our mastermind around her as a group, around her house, around Northern California. We were standing outside, visualizing ourselves standing outside with a howling rain coming down. Our hair were wet, clothes were wet, my boots were filling up with water. And we intended for all this rain to become real. We felt it. And we loved it into existence because we knew how good it would be for the land, for the community, for not being afraid of the fires anymore. Well, we went on with the rest of the mastermind session, and then about an hour and a half after we quit, she called and she said, it's raining. And then she sent me a short video, which I still have on the phone, about her standing outside, dancing around in her black backyard, holding the phone up, taking, movie of herself in the rain, and she was wet all over. And I could see the heavy rain coming down. Now, the thing is that it wasn't clear skies to start with. There was a few clouds out there. But in an hour and a half, it darkened up and turned into howling rain in an hour and a half. The weather forecasters said, we were dumbfounded. This shouldn't have happened, but it did. How did that happen? It's because of the mastermind principle. When two or more minds are united in harmony, they create a third mind. One that has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other. And that is, if you have 1,000 people get together, concentrate on one thing, directed attention, visualize it into effect, loving it, feeling gratitude for already having it, feeling it. Now you have the mind power, the creative mind power of 1,000,000 minds. That is powerful. And that's what we need to do. Everybody can create their own mastermind. Families should have it. Church groups should have it. Clubs, they do it all the time. Sports, they do it. They do some of it anyway. But a family should get together, decide on what they want more than anything. When they sit around the table for dinner, join minds instead of holding hands and say, well, we need $1,714.08 by the end of the month to pay the mortgage. Pass the butter, Martha, I'm hungry. That doesn't go anywhere. You got to feel it, see it, intend for it. If a family does that, they start creating things because you create it in your mind and then you place it into the universal mind or the quantum existence. Now it is there as potentials for creating physical things. This is something that everybody should do. And for those of you that want to be part of something like this, I'm going to give you an email address here where you can actually come and participate, watch and observe, and be part of something incredible. This is just one example. We got a horde of other examples of windfalls for people that needed it and healings and things like that. That is all created in our mind. It wouldn't have happened unless we have thought it into existence. Now, think back to Earth. If all of us start thinking about solutions instead of thinking about all the problems, think about hemp, thorium, a totally revamped healthcare system instead of the disease care system. And other things that we want in our life that is beneficial to us, our family, our community, the country, and the world. How about start thinking about peace? That would be a novel idea, wouldn't it? Instead of thinking about all the wars and all the crap that's going on. Maybe we should. But for those of you that want to be part of and just come and have a look at the mastermind that we are doing, send us an email to themastermindconnection@gmail.com. And you can join Nori and me and a whole bunch of other people, tremendous minds, get together and you can create good things for you also. Yeah, there we see. I see the email is in the chat there, so write it down and send me an email. I'll send you some information and a link to come and join us. Now, when we're talking about Earth and it being self-aware, that involves everything on it and in it. That should give a new meaning to tree huggers, wouldn't it? Because trees can actually communicate with you. That's why the sages of old, they said, when you meditate, sit outside with your back up against a tree. There is something in that because you communicate with nature. You ground yourself and you communicate and you can get ideas. As well as you also in meditation could tap into the universal mind and get ideas and concepts and inventions and thoughts that will benefit you and mankind. Higher conscious thinking usually comes through meditation. And we have classes on that on our website. Nori and I put it there, gosh, about 3 years ago. And along with other things like astral travel and so on, just go to broadcastteamalpha.com and you will go in there and you'll find out how to go about these things. These classes are for the people and the members of the mastermind. So you need to do that first and then go and look. So, yes, it is up to us to create a new environment with good things in it. And we can do that by higher conscious thinking. Thinking about the problems doesn't cut it. We need to start thinking about solutions, and the earth and the world will love you for it. Besides, you'll be more positive, you'll feel better, you'll be healthier. So that's one thing that I would highly recommend. I meditate every day, and that's one reason why I do what I do. There's many out there that may be listening to this that would love to do great things, but they just haven't seen an opportunity where it would be possible for them to do so. The thing is that the universe talks to you. But unless you ask and define what you would want to have or do, the universe doesn't know what to give you. So ask. Tell it, give me an opportunity or to do whatever, and then listen. Because the universe, the earth, and everything in it will communicate with you. It might come to you in the shower for about a 2-second thought coming through. It usually is very quick, so catch it when it comes. But it will come. It could be a thought of something that you should do that fly through your head and then it's gone. Or it could be a simple thought of, oh, I haven't talked to John for a long time. I really should call him. Follow up on those thoughts, because John might have an idea or an opportunity or something that will benefit you, your family, and everybody. Listen to the universe when it talks to you. Because if you don't listen, you're going to have what you always have had. A memory of the past is replaying itself in the present, and it will follow you into the future. Are you sure you want that? If you do, don't do a thing different. If you're perfectly happy in your life right now, don't change anything. Because life is about being happy. If you want anything more than what you have, define it and ask. The universe will help you create. There are unseen influences living in that quantum existence that will help you create it. But you gotta ask. My mom had a saying, and boy, did I hear that a lot of times. Beggars may not get much, but the ones that never ask, they get nothing. Smart woman. She was right, because I asked a lot. And I told somebody that I was going to talk about Earth today. And that person told me, why don't you explain what the Earth is? And I know what he meant. He's a flat earther. Do you guys want to I got about 4 minutes left. Do you guys want to have some fun for the last 4 minutes?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. I have a telescope that magnifies 300 times. It's pretty powerful. I can point that to the moon and I can see really strange things up there. I can point it to Mars, and yeah, the Mars sitting out there, and it's got some dots on it. When I do it other times, the dots are not there because Mars is rotating, it's going around. So it's on the other side or somewhere. That tells me that it's round. The moon is round. Every planet is round. But remember, we are special. Our planet is flat, according to some people. I did an interview with a guy, Flat Earth Dave, and I kind of like the guy, even though that he's a flat earther. I kind of like the guy because I am convinced that he believed what he talked about. And he also admitted something that he did not understand. And I'm going to show you. And maybe you can draw your own conclusion on this. Is the earth round or is it flat? I created this, let me see, this one. This is my drawing of Earth. This is Africa, Asia, and we have Australia over here, and here's the United States, South America. In the middle, there's the North Pole, and right around here, that's the South Pole, what they are concerned. Now, okay, I put two dots on here. This is the sun, and this is the moon. And they are going around. If you can explain to me how you can get this big pizza cardboard between the sun and the moon for the sun to throw a shadow, a curved shadow on the moon, then I will listen to you. All this is got to get between the sun and the moon so the moon have a shadow. Flat Earth Dave said, I don't know. He was honest. I have asked quite a few of them, and I'm getting anything from a blank stare coming back, or just someone say, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm telling them, okay, but I'm asking you, do you know what you're talking about? Nobody can give me an answer how you can get a pizza cardboard between the sun and the moon to throw a shadow on the moon. Maybe you got a little idea if it's round or flat.
I know who you're talking about, and I too received an email from him, and I, humbly declined, right? Because that's not what my platform is about, to debunk round or flat, and like you, Aage, I too have a powerful telescope with which I look at planetary bodies and such with, and a Klingon sword that's right underneath it for anyone that wants to challenge the round. But yeah.
That's a good one. That should magnify 300 times or more, shouldn't it?
More than that, I can see Saturn. I can see all the way to Jupiter, and I can see Uranus, and well, maybe not your Uranus, but I can see the.
Yeah,
I can see Uranus and stuff like that. We got to throw in some comedy in here and some laughter and fun in here. But I'm not done with that argument. I've seen the shadow of the Earth on the moon. It appears to be round. I've seen all the other planets in our solar system. They look round to me. I look at the moon. It looks round. Everything is round. Even when we look at our galaxies, they in themselves are round. So it is, for me, it's CIA misinformation, to
Yeah.
misdirect people, to confuse people, and and I'm just not down with that. And I've received a few emails from David, and to me, it's just a flat no. You couldn't pay me. You simply couldn't pay me to put that type of stuff up here on Rockers Talk, because I don't think my people would appreciate that very much, like Rockers and Nancy and Ronnie, and they'd be like, Omar, what the fuck are you doing entertaining that shit? So,
Yeah.
I have no interest in it, so I just simply won't do it. But, to come back, Aage, to this, the mind created universe and the earth that we operate in, it is, it's a tough existence, right? But lessons need to be learned here. We take these, physical bodies so that we can experience some aspect of our memory that is, that's, just sitting there, and for some reason, for whatever it may be, we incarnate and we come here to experience that physicality. But beyond that, I'm of the school that nothing is real except strawberry fields, and that's it. Everything else is in the mind, and is how, it's how we approach this mind created reality that we're, observing into place, I suppose it would be, as you talk in your book. So yeah, for me, it's more of an earthly experience than it is a human experience, right? The human in it is, is part of the experience, right? But we wouldn't have this full human experience if it were not for the earth. We could be born a human on Pluto, but the experience just wouldn't be the same, right? So I think it has a lot to do with the earth and the earth matrix in itself,
Yeah.
and all the lessons that go along with it, right? Like love and hate and loathing and envy and greed and all of that. And those are just lessons that we need to learn. But the question really becomes, is that how do we learn those lessons in harmony, right? In harmony with one another and in harmony with the earth, rather than
Yeah.
running solo, right?
Yeah, we need harmony. We need to think with the earth and everything on it.
Hmm.
Because if it is self-aware, that means consciousness, awareness, and we can communicate with that.
I'm
We
listening
need
to you. I'm talking sign language, multitasking here, brother. Multitasking.
okay. Yeah, but it is our job to change it.
How do we, this is a question that goes, that we've been, going round and round and round about, and as you said, we know what problems we have on this world. Like we get it. We know what those problems are, but how do we go about, rectifying those problems? And personally, Aage, I feel the biggest problem that plagues mankind is, and womankind, just so that we don't come under attack from the lefties, it's it's greed. Greed seems to be the fundamental disease which has inflicted the human being. Because when you look at it, the root of all problems just seems to always go back to the greed, always coveting, what you can't have, what you don't have, and you just want more, 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 and more, and then that causes divisions and problems within the world, right? So how can we, address this um, terrible infliction that's being placed upon us? Because I don't think humans were like this originally. I think this was placed in us after the Anunnaki fucked us over, right? After they did us in, they instilled this type of genetic coding into us, right? So how do we get beyond that, my brother? Because that's, to me, that's the biggest problem, is greed.
Yeah. Yeah, you got any more questions?
No, man, that was my question.
Okay. Okay.
We're on
I
comedy
see,
hour here.
I saw I saw a comment in the chat room here that I can see England, or was it London? I see London. I see France. Can you see? No.
Mm,
Um, Depends on where you are. Of course, if you're in Ireland, you probably can. But if you're in the United States, I kind of doubt it. But on the other hand, they wouldn't comment on that too much if they understood astrophysics a little better, because when light travels straight ahead and hit a heavy or a big gravitational force like a planet, it travels around the planet. Light bends. That is why you can look out on the ocean and you see the ships descending into the ocean way out there, because light bends around it. And then when you put the binoculars on it, you can see them again, because the light bends and you still have access to that ship, even though if it's below the horizon line. So anyway, that's what science are telling you. But on the other
mm.
hand, if you throw science out the window, then everything will work.
That's right. You can see everything that you want. Just close your eyes and visualize in your mind, and you'll see Ireland, you'll see Norway, you'll see Scotland,
Yeah.
you'll see Australia. Pull out an atlas and you'll see it. Let's bring Ulrich on, and let's bring our sister Stone Hobbit on. Let's bring on Kathy Mason. Let's bring on Leanne Curtis, and let's bring on the whole freaking gang here. And look, Aage, you're surrounded by women, my man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right, Omar had to leave to make that true.
Oh,
All right. Gosh.
Augie, I keep typing in the
There we
thing.
go.
How do you spell solarium? You said that you could use when you were talking about hemp. How do you spell solarium?
SOLAR.
SOLAR.
IUM. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Nancy, overcoming greed has to happen on an individual level as well as business level. I know I've been in the business world. I've run bigger companies and smaller companies. And I did one big one where greed got the best of me and I lost it. So yes, if you take the profit out of the healthcare system, we're going to probably end up with a somewhat honest healthcare system. But otherwise, forget it.
Got to take the pharmaceutical out of the hospital,
Yes.
and then we'll actually have medicine going on. We need people like stone hobbits and shamans operating and working with, barks and leaves and roots and berries and trees and kind of what have you, and the elements of the earth to heal people, instead of sticking a pill down your throat and putting a band-aid on it and say, well, I'll see you next week. Right. Again, that's in the profit margin of it, right? But we have, in today's world, doctors destroy, healthcare, teachers destroy education, lawyers destroy justice. It's just the type of a world that that we're in right now. But again, that's the old human. The old human is hanging on to that type of nonsense, and the new human coming into the future is going to be, a much different human than what we see currently, because we have the indigo generation coming in, and those guys are lucky because they're being raised by people like us that understand the nature of reality. So when these children are being born and coming in, they're actually being taught what I've been preaching, saying that, hey, it's our parents' fault that we're like this, and their parents' fault that they were like that. But now, no longer, because that wheel can be broken, and we can teach our children and say, okay, well, here's how you lucid dream, and this is how you meditate, this is how you zen, and once we begin doing that, then the new human will be born, and all of this that we're seeing, this shit show that we got going on, will just simply disappear.
Yep.
So with that being said, Aage, my man, my brother, my guy, thank you very much. I truly, truly appreciate you, guys. You make this world a better place, and you make it fun to understand and to learn and to raise the awareness. And that's really what's needed. That's what the doctor has ordered. A little bit of Aage Nost on this Earth Day and every other day, because you're really out there and you're teaching and you're raising awareness of people that need their awareness raised, and and you're tapping into some new lights as well. So I really appreciate it. And guys, go and visit Aage Nost's website along with this lovely partner, Nori Love, at broadcastingalpha.com, and as well subscribe to Aage's YouTube channel under the same name at Broadcast Team Alpha. And if you guys want to learn more about the mastermind program that Aage's got going on, shoot him an email at themastermindconnection@gmail.com. And again, all of these links are in the chat rooms here on Facebook. Here on YouTube, and as well as Facebook. So enjoy, and let me know if you guys go into the mastermind program. Let me know how that goes for you. I'd love to talk to you about it and learn. So Aage, go ahead, please.
That sounds good. So thank you very much for having me on here. And in the words of Spock, live long and prosper.
Prosper. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey, there you go. If you
Bless
want to
you.
learn how to use your mind in ways you normally would think would be impossible, it's in here. You find it on Amazon.
We can't see your ears.
Spiritual science. That's right, guys.
I have two of them.
I know, but they're pointed like Spock. You did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you guys want to see us go deeper into spiritual science, check out the series that we're doing with Aage. The playlist is on Watchers Talk. And we've got, 20, 21, 22 videos, something like that, each about an hour long. And we're halfway through the book, and we will resume that next Friday after I am out of detention. And then we will continue to roll forward. There's a lot of great tidbits of information in every single episode that we've done. We've talked about free will. We've talked about health. We've talked about consciousness. Man, we've talked about a lot of things, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. And if you guys have been watching it, awesomeness. If not, then check it out. So, Aage, thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate it. I guess it is my turn to be put on the spot.